or afternoon for everyone. Just to let you guys know, my name is Michelle and I'll be your instructor this evening. If you can hear me, please raise your hand. I'm just going to give it about another minute or so to see if anybody else is going to be joining us before I begin. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot some of the most common errors that you find, especially during the tax season. So, like you noticed that when I logged into my website, it looks like I have my display set to something bigger than what it normally should be. And that's fine because I tell everybody all the time that I am literally blind and I cannot see small lettering. So in order to make it bigger, I hit the control plus sign, but to make it smaller, I hit the control minus sign. There are going to be instances, especially if you make the screen bigger, that you may not see some of the things like you're seeing right here that's been cut off. In order to reset it, you can just hit control minus. You can come over here to where the little zoom icon is and just reset it and it goes back to the 100%. We prefer it on 100%, but like I tell you, I'm blind. I have to see it a little bit bigger. So if you ever come across something that's big, just reset it so that way you can also see the rest of the screen. Now, there also may be times where you have sent in a return and you'll notice that on the tax return, there's a send create failed, where there might have been a hiccup or a glitch in the system. And if it didn't fully send the e-file, then it's going to be put over here to where it says send create create failed. So just come in here, select it, resend it, so that way it gets sent off. Another thing, since this is an online software, you may have noticed that it's going a little bit slow, but your internet is perfectly fine. So what you want to do is come in here and reset your settings and like clear the browsing history and the cache. And the way to do that is to come over here to the three little dots, go to more tools and go to clear browsing data. And on the left-hand side, I've got it selected for browsing history, cookies, and other site data, cached images, and files. Most of the time, this is set to like the last hour. Switch it over to all time so it gets everything in there. Once it goes through the clear process, you'll be able to see that it's going a little bit more faster. Another thing to keep a lookout on is if you come back over here to the three little dots, and go to more tools and you go to your extensions. If you notice that I have an extension already showing right here, and sometimes you guys may have like the McAfee or the Norton or AdBlock or other things that have may have been installed, this is always a good idea for you to be able to come over here and check your extensions. And there may be stuff that you didn't install, go ahead and remove it, because sometimes it can prevent you from doing things in websites. And I know that if you do have an antivirus or a firewall installed, you're going to need to add us as an exception for your web browsing. Otherwise, it's going to continuously block the site and you won't be able to get in. And if you've got the capability of calling up your antivirus or anti-firewall so that they can help you configure it. If not, call customer service. Our tech support people can more than likely instruct you on how to do that. Online version is pretty simple, pretty easy when it comes to troubleshooting, because you don't have to worry about doing the updates, the backing up, and the installing, because we do all that for you. It's basically, you just got to keep an eye on if it's going slow, delete your cache. If the display is setting is too high, then minimize it a little bit so that way you can see all of the actual errors that are in place. So once you have cleared the cache, exit out of the browser, come back in, relog in, and everything should be fine. As far as the desktop goes, there's a little bit more to troubleshoot with it, because you can easily get an error when you first initially open up the program. And if it's a certain error, then you have to call technical support so that way we can remote in and fix it, because we have to redo the directory in the database. Desktop, in my opinion, gives you a lot of errors for you to be able to troubleshoot. So I'm going to go into my 2017 version because it has more than the 2018 version, because it's not all out there. So when you first come to this screen and you have no clue what your password is, because it may have been more than 45 days since you've logged in order to reset that, you can call us, we can reset it. You can also come over here to go to the file and go to reset admin password. And it's going to ask for your client ID, your EFIN, and your registration code. And it will give you the capability, once you enter all that information, to reset the admin password so that way you can get in there. It won't have a password, but once you log in, it will require you to be able to get in there to put the password. As far as like any other troubleshooting, most of the things that you can find will be on the knowledge base. And like I said, because when I first installed this and I had to go through all of the motions, that way it's been since last season when I installed it. So when I installed it, I accidentally did the installation twice, but when I opened it up, it gave me a certain error, and it was error 221, uh, opening database when opening the TaxWise program. So that required that I had to call in for the technical support for them to be able to remote in to fix the issue itself. Most of the time when you come in here and you just type in error and that error code number, it will tell you how to fix it. If you don't feel comfortable in how to fix what's going on, please call us, because there's like things that we can do and walk you through, or remote in and do it ourselves, like running the TW tech support and then the DB repair in case there's something with the database that needs to be corrected. And I cannot reiterate enough, if you are on the online version, that's great, because there's not a whole lot of things that have to be done with the online version, which is fantastic. There's a lot of things that come into play when you're doing the desktop version. So if you don't understand the error, or if something's going on, and especially like if you already have an installation running in the background but you don't see it on your desktop, you may need to go into your task manager and look for, it's called the TWW17 right here. And you can easily end the task for it to actually close out of the program that you may not see. When you also open up another installation, it automatically alerts you to tell you that there's already one installation found. So definitely, if you don't have it open on your little menu bar at the bottom, always come into the task manager and make sure to exit the program or end the task from right there. If it gets any more complicated and it spits out like that error 221, call us so we can remote in and fix it. Other than that, if anything happens to happen when we first start doing this because this is the first season that we're going to be doing the January 2nd pre-files, and it's a learning curve with anybody. So there might be a glitch or an error when you go to e-file and you may not understand it. It's something new to us as well. So just call us. We will more than likely have a fix for it or know how to fix it. So that way, like I said, we are always here to help you. But I'm going to go over it again. If the program for online is running slow, then go over here to the three little dots and go to more tools and go to clear browsing data. Once you've cleared the browsing data, exit the window, come back in, and it should speed up the process. Always make sure to check your extensions, and you can do that by going back to the three little dots and going to more tools and going to extensions and seeing what you have in there. And you would be surprised as to what is actually in your extensions that you may not even know that's there. For the desktop, if your computer is running a little slow, you can always do your maintenances as far as that goes. And if we go over here, and you can go to your settings and you can easily run, see if it'll actually do it. Security and maintenance. You can actually have it run in the background to do your disk defragmentation. And you can set it to run it on a certain time if you leave your computer on. Do this every once in a while so it optimizes. And then, of course, there's one where you can delete a bunch of files that you don't use, like your temporary files. And that disk management. And close that. And then we're going to come over here. And most of the time on your little, I'll show you because you'll need to know. If this start menu right here, if you right click on it, it gives you the other options without having to look for certain things. So you can definitely go into your system, your power options to make sure that it's on power saving mode, your apps and features, things like that. You do have the capability of just selecting the little Windows button and typing in disk cleanup. And this is a good one for you to also run, especially if it's running slow. It'll bring up, like, if you want it to also clean up the system files, go ahead and select that. And delete your temporary files, your deleted, your trash, all that kind of good stuff. That way it speeds up the computer a little bit. Other than that, always reach out to us if you have questions. And of course, do you have questions? And once if we start to get any kind of errors, especially during the midst of the season, I will make sure to put out a little short video on how to fix it, just in case you are around and support is not around when you are around. And I know that we're only open certain amount of hours, like on the weekends, and you may need to be able to fix something and you may not be able to wait till Monday. I'll make sure to do the little videos to put it out there for you guys so that way you have that capability of being able to fix it on your own. And of course, videos are always lovely because you can always pause and play and rewind and fast forward and all that kind of good stuff. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, I know you guys may have better hours, especially because I work during the week. And if I want to get my taxes done, I might have to do it on the weekend or in the evenings. And like I said, there's limited support on weekends. So I will definitely make sure, though, that if there is anything going on when we first start up, and if there is a fix for it, I will definitely do a video and I will have Omar post it for you guys to be able to have just in case we're not around when your shop is open during the weekends. And of course, this video is actually going to be recorded, so he'll be able to put that on there so that way you get familiar with being able to clear your cache and all that kind of good stuff. Yes, you guys are still going to get the great, fantastic support that TaxWise delivers. So when you call in, you're going to get an expert on the other line. And if they are not able to help you because they may need to escalate it to technical support where they can reindex your database or anything else like that. So, yeah, you're going to definitely get great support. As far as being able to record like the simple things that you can do, I'm not going to. I can record other things, but it may get a little bit more complicated. And since, of course, we also like emails, I can always make sure to suggest it to Omar and Alexis that if we know that there's something going on and it is a quick fix, and if I can do a video for it, then let's do an email blast so you guys are aware on how to fix it in case you don't want to call in or if we're not here at the time that you want to call in. Any more questions? Well, as I stated, this is going to be recorded, so make sure you do a favorite of it so that way you know how to do some of the steps. And as the time progresses, I will start making more videos so that you guys are fully aware of what's going on. There are quite a few more videos for you to be able to, or webinars to take for the rest of the week. If you haven't already signed up for them, go ahead and sign up for them so that way I can show you how to do other things. So I hope everyone either has a wonderful evening or a wonderful afternoon. And I look forward to seeing some of you guys tomorrow. You are very welcome. And I'm so glad that everybody decided to join in. Have a great night.